Coming up, we take a look at Tzu Chi's continuing assistance in Nepal since the April earthquake. Volunteers help a father transform his grief for his son into the betterment of society. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. As it has been more than 100 days since the massive earthquake hit Nepal back in April, we take a look back at all that Tzu Chi has done to help the quake survivors to rebuild in the immediate aftermath and the mid to long-term plans going forward. "35-year-old Kamala Muda Magar suffers from severe osteoporosis. To relieve her of her pain, team of doctors and local doctors concluded that a total hip replacement surgery was the best solution.
After getting operation of total hip replacement, now she will able to walk freely without any crutch and wheelchair."
The over 600,000 rupees needed to pay for this surgery is an astronomical fee that Kamala cannot afford. Thankfully, Tzu Chi has offered to pay, and the hospital also gave a discount. Earlier in June, this baby's leg was accidentally crushed by his brother. Now that the cast has come off, the baby is recovering well.
Yes.
The windows and the door screws of this prefab unit are not up to Tzu Chi's standards. Even the little details do not escape volunteer Chen Guangdong's eyes. Chen does his best to pass on his knowledge of how to build the prefab units to the local volunteers.
如何在这里工地这里
I want to pass on all that I know to the local volunteers so that they can better assemble the parts of the prefab here at the work site before moving the parts to the construction site.
本地的志工们
Also hailing from Malaysia is Liang Yuquan, who has plenty of experience in building Tzu Chi's prefab units, having joined the prefab construction to help flood victims in Malaysia's Kelantan.
The construction in Kelantan was more complicated as the materials came from Butterworth, but the assembly was in Kelantan.
Giving the men a run for their money, Liao Lingjun from Taiwan is also well versed in construction.
I'm here to see if they need to improve the quality of their construction and also if there needs to be changes in management, as well as how to add more humanitarianism to the worksite.
United in a common goal, Tzu Chi volunteers look to help locals build sturdy prefabs for quake survivors. On arrival at any of the Jingsi Books and Cafe branches in Taiwan, guests are always greeted with a warm welcome by a group of polite and cordial young volunteers. However, that is not all they do at the store. In our next report, let us take a look at what these young volunteers get up to on a day-to-day basis. Greeting customers with a warm and enthusiastic welcome, Ziyu and her younger brother Pei Yuan have been volunteering at the Jingsi Books and Cafe for nearly 2 years now. However, that's not all that they do here.
小志工可以自己去装水吗？不行，要找谁帮忙装？大人。对。
Learning by doing, Ziyu embraces each task with a positive attitude, whether it is cleaning the tables, watering the plants, or restocking the shelves. Here, young volunteers also learn a sense of discipline and responsibility. Our staff members are always watching over the little ones. When they see that they're getting a little too excited or misbehaving, they will tell them no running, no shouting, and no jumping. These rules are easy for them to remember. After spending some time at the cafe, Tzu Chi, who used to be shy and timid, has come out of her shell and is now more comfortable around people. Meanwhile, Pei Yuan has proved himself to be a great little helper around the store.
There was some litter there.
Cleaning the bamboo is his everyday task. He says the big sisters here are really nice to him. I asked him if he prefers to go to the park and play with his friends or volunteer at the cafe, and he always says he'd rather come here. Xin Yun and Xiang Yan have become best of friends after meeting at the Jingsi Books and Cafe last year. Now the pair spends time together volunteering at the store. When parents bring their children here, in the beginning, they learn how to humble themselves and how to serve people. They learn to maintain their appearances and be clean and tidy. Here, they're exposed to a lot of upright characters and morals, which I think is very important during their upbringing. It is important for children to learn good virtues and moral values from a young age. Here at the Jingsi Books and Cafe, children learn valuable lessons about life that can guide them on the right path. When they're dressed in their uniforms, they develop a sense of belonging and pride. It's not the same pride as when you score full marks for a test, but rather it is the sense of fulfillment you get when being of service to others. To commemorate Tzu Chi's 22 years of work in Malaysia, the staff of Tzu Chi's 4 missions are hosting a Thanksgiving banquet on August 29th. Before the banquet, staff members invited volunteer representatives to recount their past efforts.
A big round of applause welcomed all those attending. In celebration of Tzu Chi's 22 years of work in Malaysia, staff members of Tzu Chi's 4 missions will be hosting a Thanksgiving banquet. In preparation, volunteer representatives were invited to attend this ceremony tracing the history of Tzu Chi's missions in Malaysia.
We put together the ceremony in less than a week. However, despite the short timeline, it went very smoothly and was able to clearly present the master's teachings.
During the ceremony, Tzu Chi kindergarten teachers performed sign language songs. The dialysis center's nurses also brought friends of different ethnicities on stage. As the staff of Tzu Chi's medical mission play instruments, volunteers danced off stage. Lin Guanlan, who has been a medical volunteer for 10 years, talked about how she began volunteering.
My mother passed away because of kidney disease, so I saw how much suffering illness brings. When I lead volunteers, I set an example for them with a simple mind. I feel they are moved by that.
The staff members volunteered with us before. Now they are working hard at Tzu Chi's 4 missions with a sense of duty.
The event brought back memories of how many volunteers became staff members of Tzu Chi. The highlight of the event came as Tzu Chi's first volunteer in Malaysia, Ye Tzu Jing, encouraged everyone to continue to go among the public and give of themselves.
Students and teachers of Tzu Chi University's College of Medicine recently traveled to the city of Ormoc in the Philippines to help with the construction of prefab housing and the distribution of rice to needy families. So what did the students learn during their week-long trip? Let's find out.
You happy every day. Wish you happy every day.
Today, teaching these students from Tzu Chi University's College of Medicine are not professors, but cash for work participants.
I
told the students that when we address these workers, we should address them as teacher, as these cash for work participants have already built 600 prefabs, so they truly can be considered as working professionals.
Wasting no time, the students enthusiastically join in the effort.
1, 2, 3, go!
I am really happy that I can help build these homes that will later be given to the people to live in.
After becoming a doctor, I probably won't have the opportunity to do such work. On the other hand, doing such work now can help us see the world from a different vantage point. If in the future we have a chance to be part of an international disaster relief, we will be better equipped to understand the lives of the victims and residents.
In building prefabs and delivering aid, these doctors-to-be are creating a bond of love that will serve them well in the months and years to come. Also about students from Tzu Chi schools, in early August, some students and teachers at Tzu Chi University and Tzu Chi College of Technology began a tour of China's Gansu. Their first stop was a social welfare institute.
43 teachers and students from various Tzu Chi schools in Taiwan, along with a group of university students from Gansu, China, are here visiting a social welfare institute in Jinyuan.
I was a bit afraid before coming here that the seniors might be averse to strangers, but upon arriving, I quickly found everyone to be very friendly and open towards us. I enjoyed giving the residents massages and playing games with them to get to know them better.
As the young volunteers chatted up the seniors, they came to realize that fulfilling their filial duties towards the elderly is something that cannot wait.
Today, I'm here at this event, and my mother is working, so my grandmother is left alone at home. Normally, when I leave the house, my grandmother watches me leave from the window. When I get home, I'll be sure to spend some time with my grandmother by washing her feet.
Through the companionship of these young volunteers, the seniors' hearts are full of joy, knowing they are not alone in this world.
To help Taiwan's colleges and universities elevate their programs and curriculums, in 2006, the Ministry of Education started allocating $1.6 billion every 5 years to 14 to 17 schools at a time. To make sure the selection of the participating schools was unbiased, a new organization was established to evaluate all colleges and universities. We now find out whether the ministry's endeavor has proven effective. The National Zhongxin University's College of Agriculture and Natural Resources has gotten several departments to work together to host this class that teaches about food safety and toxin-free farming.
The approach that we are taking is sustainable farming, so that's what we want to teach to students in our college.
The aim for Top University is the latest endeavor by Taiwan's Ministry of Education to revamp the country's institutions of higher learning, and the goal is to promote more research projects and innovative teaching. A leader in agricultural research, NCHU hopes to cultivate students who don't just excel in farming, but in science and sociology as well. However, not all colleges and universities in Taiwan have the resources to develop new programs, as their number has spiked from 20-something to over 100, making allocation of public resources difficult.
When there were just some 20 universities, there was no need for schools to try to set themselves apart in terms of the curriculum they offered. However, now we have over 100 schools, and most of our high school graduates will attend college. So the schools now try to fulfill the needs of different types of students. Due to diversification, now all colleges and universities offer the same programs.
Though there are more colleges, public funding has not increased, and thus the Ministry of Education has come up with a new way to allocate its funding, spearheaded by several distinguished research institutes. The first stage of the ministry's plan began in 2006 and ended in 2010 and totaled $1.6 billion. The second stage got a new name and began in 2011 and will end this year. The two stages were divided into 4 segments, and each segment targeted 14 to 17 schools. In order to select participating schools objectively, the Higher Education Evaluation and Accreditation Council was formed.
Every grade awarded to a student and every regulation must be documented. For example, if I counsel a student, I would need the student to sign off to prove that the counseling did take place. But in reality, it's nothing more than a simple formality.
One of the methods that schools are evaluated is the number of citations used by U.S. scientific periodicals. However, such practice has led to frequent publishing of insignificant reports by scholars.
The professor who pioneered the Science Citation Index was outraged by how we have abused his work. He continued to warn against such practices, but we just plain ignored him. He said the index was not meant to evaluate the academic achievement of a scholar or any research institute. It is only meant to indicate the quality of the submitted report.
The grant provided by the Ministry of Education can only be effective if the selection process is unbiased. However, with the current way the evaluation process is structured, the Aim for Top University program might prove to be a fruitless effort. 5 years ago, Fan Ajun's eldest son passed away from cancer, leaving him in a state of grief. However, after becoming a Tzu Chi volunteer, Fan has been able to leave behind his despair with the help of his Tzu Chi family and the Master's Dharma. He now honors his son's memory by transferring his love to the many younger volunteers around him.
We often told him that he needed to be strong. He would say, "Dad, I will do my best." Secretly, we wanted to give him everything. He was willing to take over our farm. We were especially close. He was always a good kid, full of life.
5 years ago, Fan's beloved eldest son passed away from cancer. The following 2 years, he wandered aimlessly through life with only grief in his heart. Thankfully, he met a group of angels clad in blue and white.
你看这个虫这么多，它没有药虫就不会死。对。面有愁容啊呢，干嘛好就是。
You could tell by looking at him that he had been through some difficult times. However, as the Dharma has entered his heart, his spirit and even how he looks has changed.
改变都不一样。来，我帮你拿着。
Despite the weight of the 10-kilogram weed whacker, 75-year-old Ajun carries out the job tirelessly.
心情很愉快啊，
把烦恼除掉了吗？
对，除烦恼。
Asked what power was able to finally lead him out of the darkness, Ajun's answer would be the loving care that was sent his way.
We invited him to our study group, where he has been able to learn from the Master's Dharma. We also got him to help us with yard work and recycling. We do our best to get him out of the house. I feel much better, and I feel my son is doing better as well. I have new friends, and the younger volunteers are like my sons.
Feeling the loving care of the volunteers, as well as the wisdom of Master Zhenyan's Dharma, Fan Ajun has come to understand the nature of impermanence, as well as how to ride out its waves without drowning. Now firmly part of Tzu Chi, Fan promises to bring more love into this world, knowing that this is the best way to honor the memory of his son. August 14th marks the first day of the 7th lunar month according to the Chinese lunar calendar. Buddhists also consider this period as a month for Thanksgiving, filial piety, and joy. In Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers in澎湖organized an event for children to showcase their appreciation to their parents, while Tzu Chi volunteers invited members of the public to join a concert at the Tzu Chi Sanchong grounds to mark the 7th lunar month. Caring for children, especially babies, is a demanding and time-consuming job that requires patience as well as love. Liu Ruixiang, who has been a nanny for many years, often finds ways to cope with the pressure. This year, she decided to invite other nannies to join her at Tzu Chi's blessing ceremony.
It can get really stressful looking after children all day long, so we thought it would be nice to come to the concert to take some time out and relax.
Besides offering praise for world peace, to highlight the auspiciousness of the 7th lunar month, volunteers of the Tzu Chi Sanchong grounds also organized a music concert, which uplifted the souls of all those present.
When our minds are calm and our soul uplifted, we exert more positive energy to those around us.
Among the participants were those with hearing impairment. However, with the help of their sign language teacher, they were still able to indulge in the joys of the event.
Although they cannot hear, I believe they still experience the beauty of the event through their eyes.
Here at the澎湖Jingshu Hall, volunteers organized an event for children to show their appreciation to their parents. Chen Yizhong, who was a rebellious son, has now turned over a new leaf and realized the error of his ways.
When I came home from the army, I repented for my behavior. I promised no matter what my mom asks of me now, I will listen to her.
No matter how busy she is, Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Huizhen always puts time aside to visit her mother.
The best way for me to repay her is to use the healthy body which she has given me to practice good deeds.
A month of Thanksgiving, filial piety and joy. For participants, there is no better time to say thank you than now. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers from Orange County and Cerritos of the greater Los Angeles area invited Tzu Chis and Tzu Shaos to join them at the Orange County Food Bank to help prepare food packs for the needy.
This large warehouse full of food is not Costco, but the Orange County Food Bank in Garden Grove of Greater Los Angeles. 31 Tzu Chi volunteers, Tzu Chis and Tzu Shaos from Orange County and Cerritos are here, laboring away without the comfort of air conditioning to prepare food packs for the needy.
Though I'm sweating, I'm very happy that I get to help people. I'm here helping others, which makes me feel very happy. To come here and do something meaningful beats sitting at home and playing my computer.
After some 2 hours, the group readied 1,080 relief packs, so they might be given out later. The experience taught all participants that when united, they can achieve great feats.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Banqiao of New Taipei City recently held a potluck event to invite members of the community to share their signature vegetarian dish with others. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.